long, and that's just what you know.
Yeah.
And no, I definitely see that. Like, I even feel it because when I was in high school, easy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be willing to understand everything because you wanted to learn. You're constantly learning.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was like 22, I didn't feel like that was how it was for me anymore. I felt like for the long time I was like exactly like old people, like the people that I knew. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this is how things have to be. This is how it should be. And it's like, really, who are you? Who is anyone to say this is how it should be? You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely, yeah.
It's just, it's hard because it's what you personally believe, right?
Right.
And like you said, as you get older, you know what I mean? If you're not keeping your mind open to these things, you're going to be stuck thinking like that forever.
Cemented in it, really, yeah, for sure. Hey, I want to ask you a question, Matt. Love our time together. I really appreciate meeting you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
This request, man, feel free to say no to because I do honor that answer as well. When I'm not driving my Uber, I love posting videos for my followers online.
Okay.
That have the theme of how I want to engage people with kindness and what that could look like when you have like really amazing connections because of kindness along the way too. And that's kind of the thing a lot of my followers really appreciate or inspired or encouraged by. They do know I never post anyone's stuff unless I have permission from them, which is really important because your privacy is also just as sacred, I think, as even the opportunity to share and inspire others as well. That's why I always like to ask permission first. Do you feel comfortable if I were to share our interaction?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm, again, happy with a no answer too.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
You're fine with that?
I don't mind.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yep, no worries at all.
And I was also gonna like maybe leave you with my card in case you ever get stuck along the way. This will give you a chance, like, you know, if you're like, oh man,
I'm able to follow you and all that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my content, my handles are on there, and feel free. I would love to hear from you and saying, hey, by the way,
that's awesome.
These scooters are like so popular now, eh?
I know. Are they new?
You know, those ones are like the personal ones. That's probably like $5,000, I think.
Yeah.
So they're so popular that they've started marketing them. So if you're able to afford them, yes. In the city, however, they do have the ones that you can rent. Last year and previous years, last 2 years, when they had them, you can go anywhere in the city, but then they're all over the city, and they did really well about collecting them, but they got everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So now they've kind of like, I think, from what I heard, they're in zones. They've got put governors.
I know they're near my house. I know that for sure. Because, or at least I know they go downtown. Yeah. Because when I was on my way to my place, I saw them, but my phone died before I could. I wanted to ride it, but I see people on them everywhere.
I know. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you, it's become a part of the landscape in a very real way. You'll see, like, at first it was like a fun thing that people were like just for fun, you know, on an outing. But now you see like business people riding to and from, like lawyers on them, for example. Like, it's just it's become really integral means of navigation. Although the consequences if you do fumble are severe.
So what happens? Like, is it
I've picked up people who have like broken limbs.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if you like get an accident, if you turn too quickly, or if you run into something, or if you get hit by a car, like, they're not as many, but when you do see them, it's like, holy crap.
That's crazy.
My friend and I were like walking along, and we came across two girls down in Prince Allen Park, and one girl had fallen down. She was pretty badly bruised up, and so I had to carry her, you know, over to where her sister was going to pick her up, kind of thing, you know. And so they're a lot of fun, but I don't know if a lot of people are aware of just how to be cautious and careful with that, you know. And so
I also feel like a lot of people later in the night, like, they'll ride them intoxicated.
Sure.
Because when I did see a lot of people on them, it was like 10 o'clock at night, 10, 11. And like, I mean, nothing's open that late, really. Like, there is stuff still open, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't know much about the city to begin with, so. But I can't see why that many people would be out that late.
I foresee what's coming along the way most likely will be that they're going to implement some measures by way of bylaws to regulate, kind of like they did with drones, right? Now there's like new elements and they're like, hey, we got to figure this out here. And so they've already started doing that by way of zoning them in areas where it just won't go outside of an area, for example, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really cool that you guys have it. It's like LA.
Does LA have them?
Yep.
See, like,
the only other place that I know for sure.
Toronto doesn't have it, right?
No.
Which shocks me because like Toronto's huge, and like I'm thinking, wouldn't that be like an amazing place, especially with gridlock and traffic, as I understand it?
You also got to remember though, Toronto, everybody lives on top of each other. This is a very spread out place.
Yeah.
So it's like
unnecessary.
You have an extra 600,000 people, all in,
Yeah.
and it's a lot smaller. It's about 33% smaller than Calgary, landmass
That's
wise.
crazy. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's even more concentration of like being squished
You should look
in
into
there, right?
Ottawa. Ottawa, allegedly, I've
Yeah.
been to Ottawa and I did
Yeah.
not notice.
Yeah.
It's about 5 or 6 times the landmass of Calgary.
Seriously.
And it has way less people than Toronto. I'm not sure how many people are there.
Yeah.
I've been there, but to me it didn't feel like it was 24 people. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day, and I'll definitely contact you.